Yo, what up? What up? B Marsh Boxing back at it with another boxing video. Post fight results for this fight between Anthony Joshua. The fight was in London, UK. Anthony Joshua's first fight not in a stadium since about 2016, I believe. The man Anthony Joshua comes into this fight, I believe, 22 wins. Is it 3 losses? Or 20 something wins? 25 wins, 22 KOs, or 24 wins. So, the first round was a filling out round, but I thought the man Franklin won the round. He was using his jab. He was going to try to go bang out with the man Joshua as far as trying to close the distance with the jab. Even snapped the man's head back. Snapped Anthony Joshua's head back with the jab. But was round two and three. I gave it to Joshua. You know what I mean? Joshua was using his jab. You know, hooking off the jab. You know what I mean? Disguising his jab as a hook. I'm saying not so much letting combinations go. Occasionally finding a home for the right hand with the big right hand behind the jab. So the first half of the fight, I had Joshua winning it at least 4 rounds to 2. I gave Franklin round one and round five. Round five was a close round, but I edged it to the man Franklin. They were going toe to toe, throwing bombs. You know what I mean? And they both got tagged with big shots. But I thought that the man Franklin let his hands go more. You know what I mean? Um, but anything after that, man, Joshua, even with a bloody nose, which is corner contained, they maintained it. They did a good job of not letting the blood flow too much, and also he was leaking from the mouth. This is in the first 5-6 rounds. So it's the man Franklin was putting in a good effort, but he was throwing the jab as well. But Joshua's jab was landing more. You know what I mean? And also the body shot game from the man Franklin, it was good, but it wasn't enough. Then in the second half of the fight, he was getting caught with the big uppercuts. Still maintaining also big right hands. His right eye was swelled up from all them jabs he was taking all night. You know what I mean? Uh, but, Franklin was never hurt in this fight. Was it round 9 or 10 where Joshua caught him with a big uppercut? Now, in the second half, there was a whole lot of clinching from both fighters. You know what I mean? And either around 9 or 10, Joshua catches Franklin with a big uppercut. And then Franklin holds on, gets the clinch, and then he catches him with some big right hands. I mean, and the man both of them were hurt in that round, but not enough to go down or any spaghetti legs or anything. In the last 2 rounds, the championship rounds were some tough rounds. Franklin was trying to go all out. But he just didn't have enough in him, you know what I mean? So I had this fight round 9-3. After the bell rang in the 12th round for the fight to end, there was a little melee between both fighters, you know what I mean? Yeah, I guess Franklin was frustrated, and Joshua won this pretty easily. But in my opinion, he didn't look too great. But neither did Franklin. Franklin had left a lot on the table. I bet you if you go back home and watches the film, I thought Franklin needed to close the distance more. You know what I mean? Joshua looked good when he would bounce on his toes, but for the most part, he was a flat-footed guy. You know what I mean? And wasn't willing to engage. Either around 9 or 10, that's the only time Joshua let his hands go. Combinations where whatever came back his way, as far as punches from Franklin, he was willing to take them as long as he could land his big bombs. But that was the only occurrence where there was a possibility of these guys going toe to toe. You know what I mean? Joshua wasn't so much fighting off the back foot, but he was just making sure he keeps a safe distance from the shorter guy who was much shorter in height and reach. Now the guy, what's his name? He should have let his hands go more as far as overhand rights and also hooking. You know what I mean? You got to throw them hooks. Make Joshua turn Joshua into a hooker. And that was his best chance. Overhand rights. A couple straight right hands got in there. But that's when he more closed the distance. You know what I mean? And that's usually if he did catch the man Joshua with a big right hand in an exchange in a close distance, Joshua got the clinching. But vice versa too. Franklin was doing a lot of clinching too in the second half of the fight. But the left hook was almost non-existent from the man Franklin. You know what I mean? And I thought that was his best opportunity to create an opportunity to win this fight. And the overhand right, you know what I mean? Bobbing and weaving. He did throw the body shots, but they just weren't enough, you know what I mean, to make the man Joshua drop his elbows and possibly catch a big left hook over the top or a straight right hand, you know what I mean? So Joshua maintained he did his thing in there. I had this fight 9 rounds to 3. I think two judges had it like me, and one had it 118, 112, you know what I'm saying? Or is it 110, excuse me. So, Joshua comes back. Did he look great? Not so much, but neither fighter did. Was it an entertaining fight? It was okay. It was okay. I mean, nothing to write home about, nothing that I'm going to wake up tomorrow like I usually do and watch the replay. But it could have been a much easier fight for Anthony Joshua if he put his punches together combination and was walking his opponent down, you know what I mean? But he kept it at a safe distance where if the man Franklin even got close, they got the clinching, using his height, weight, and reach, leaning on the guy when he got the clinching, you know what I mean? But Franklin didn't do himself any favors because his punch combination, as far as, the variation, excuse me, his punch variation wasn't that much, you know what I mean? The best shots he did land was straight right hands, and it's going to be difficult to catch the man with them short arms all night with a straight right hand, you know what I mean? He needed to get on the inside, work Joshua on the inside, avoid them uppercuts because Joshua has a good uppercut game and body shot game, and try to win the fight in the trenches. And that's what Franklin did not do. V Marsh Boxer, your thoughts and comments. I had this fight 9 rounds to 3. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. If you're new to the channel, please share, subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm gone. One.